The high school baseball season is in full swing, and we're coming off two jam-packed weekends at LakePoint Sports with the Georgia Dugout Club tournament. Games that had some major implications with PBR Georgia's class rankings. I'm Cory McCartney, along with PBR Georgia's Phil Kerber, here to take three cuts. Phil, good to have you in.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since we did one of these, and it's exciting.
So let's start with the Georgia Dugout Club tournaments. You and I had a chance to see some ridiculous talent up close and personal. If you had to whittle it all down, though, over those two weekends, who were the players that to you stood out the most?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to mention two guys that we talked a lot about on our broadcast Saturday night, starting off with Colin Houck, shortstop, Parkview, 2023, uncommitted, one of the top uncommitted prospects in the country. And he just frankly showed why he is so highly regarded. I mean, 2 home runs, and he wasn't facing any cupcake pitching. I mean, he was facing Max Eichenberger from Cherokee, a Georgia Southern commit, and then Jake Hembree over at North Paulding, a Georgia commit. I mean, those are 2 premier arms, and Houck is locked in, swinging the bat really well early in the season. Wherever he goes, it's probably down wherever he wants to go. Is going to get a very, very good prospect. And then Hembree, the left-handed pitcher, North Paulding, just an incredible outing against Parkview. I can't remember the number of times I was laughing at that curveball and the slider he was throwing in there. It was ridiculous. Even being up in the tower, you could just tell how much break it had. And then really I think the moment I'll remember is that backdoor curveball he threw that hits the batter in the back leg and bounces out into the field of play, and he gets him for the drop third to first. Just an incredible pitch, and then even more incredible athletic play off the mound from Hembree. And I mean, it's just so much fun to watch him do his thing. And finally, Jackson Alford from Walton High School, an uncommitted middle infielder, put in a very, very strong resume for MVP from this last weekend. Went 7 for 9 with 10 RBIs, 5 runs scored, and 3 stolen bases. And he's helped Walton vault to a #1 spot in our 7A rankings that we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah, so you mentioned all 3 of those guys figure in as we talk about the class rankings, the PBR Georgia rankings, as you can find on the website, and also along with PBR Georgia on Twitter. Defending champ Parkview was a top 7A. You had last year's runner-up North Paulding at #2 to start the preseason, but all of a sudden there's some major changes, and going off those Georgia Dugout Club games, I mean, we've seen things rattle there, and along with 3A where there's a new #1 as well.
Yeah, 7A is, I think, really turned into a dogfight. There are probably 15 teams that can very easily factor into late into May. And Walton has put together a strong start to the season, 6-2. They've won back-to-back pools of the GDC. But I mean, there are some other teams to watch. South Forsyth, 6-0. East Coweta, 5-2. North Forsyth, who we saw this weekend. I mean, the pitching staff looks real there. I mean, it's going to be hard to score runs against them. And then Etowah, another one who did very well this past weekend, and they're sitting at 6-1 and jumping into the top 10. But again, North Paulding, I think they dropped out this week, but they'll be back in. I have no doubt that they'll figure it out and they'll make their way back into the top 10. It's just some learning curves they're going through early in the season. And then 3A, the new ones up top, Pike County, started out at preseason #9, and they've just vaulted up the rankings to #1 with an 8-1 start. But watch out behind them, Pierce County sitting at 6-0. And I was high on Cherokee Bluff and North Hall early in the preseason, and I'm still high on them. I think that they'll be in the mix. They're sitting at 4-2 and 3-3. But you keep looking at the top 10, it's like Greater Atlanta Christian, really good. Appling County, Mary Persons, Franklin County, all these teams they have the potential to be there at the state championship. And I want to give a shout out to a new #9, East Forsyth, first year school, 6-1 start to the season, jumping into the top 10. I mean, that's going to be a fun storyline to follow to see what they can put together in year 1.
Well, we know there's going to be changes abound as we go over these next few weeks across Georgia, across these class rankings. Looking ahead, finally, it's all about the weekend, the future of this weekend at LakePoint Sports, the Rising Stars ID. This is an event that there's going to be some version of it throughout the country, all the way up until June. And this is, Phil, a chance for these younger players to get a real taste of what a showcase experience is like.
Yeah, absolutely. And first and foremost, we want them to learn about the showcase process and make it more educational. But we also want them to get out there and compete. And that's what Sunday's all about. It was an invite-only event. We're looking for those high-level, younger, rising stars, that next generation of, the Dylan Leskos and those such. Maybe we can find one Sunday. We'll see, but we're excited for it. And this is the first of many Junior Future Game ID events, so we're looking forward to kicking off that process.
Well, he is Phil Kerber, and you can find him on Twitter at Phil Kerber PBR. And if you're following him, then you've also got to follow PBR Georgia as well. Phil, thanks as always, and we'll see you on the diamond.
Thanks for having me.